Hey, Super Second Grade Squad. Welcome to this week's ELA Skills video. I'm Emily Scott, a second grade teacher here at Henderson Ward Stewart, and I just wanted to take a few minutes to share with you what your child is going to be learning in reading and language and writing. So first of all, our main resource, like always, is going to be the Ready Reading Workbook. It's going to be lesson 12. We're still working with text features, but just like the week before Thanksgiving, but then we talked about subheadings and captions and bold words or keywords. This week, we're focusing more on the parts of a book or things that might be part of a book, like glossaries, indexes, and tables of contents. So this week, we are going to be looking at nonfiction text, just like before, but it's going to be more science related this time. And these different things are going to be found in different parts of the book. So your glossary and your index will be toward the back of the book. The table of contents will be right at the front of the book, usually right after the title page. So there's some important things that your child is going to need to know about each of these text features. So first of all, I tell the students that a glossary is like a mini dictionary. So if they find a word that's bolded or a keyword in their text, they can flip to the back of the book. In the glossary, it will be in ABC order, and it's just going to have those keywords and their definitions. So if a kid comes to a word that they just don't know or they've never seen before, specifically if it's highlighted or bolded, then they can just go find the definition in their glossary. The index is also at the back of the book. An index, though, is going to be also alphabetized, but it's going to be a list of topics or subjects that might be talked about in the book, and then it will tell you what pages you can find that information on. So in class today, I talked to my students about, let's pretend like you picked up a big book from the library that was all about the human body, but all you wanted was information about the heart. So it would take a really long time to flip through that book and find just information about the heart if it was 200 or 300 pages about the entire human body. But if you flip to the back in the index and you use your ABC order and you look in the H's and find the word heart, you might see that it's just on a few pages in the book. So it really helps the reader to narrow down their search of the information they're looking for. And last but certainly not least is a table of contents. The table of contents is the only one of these text features that can be found at the front of the book. It's going to list either the names of the chapters and their page numbers, or possibly sections or the big headings that are included in the passage or the book and what page they can be found on. So the whole thing we're trying to get students to understand this week is that when you use glossaries, indexes, and tables of contents from a text, it helps you to really quickly hone in and find the information that you're looking for without taking a long time to search for it elsewhere. So you can see some examples from your Ready Reading Workbook of what a table of contents might look like with the chapters and the page numbers, what a glossary might look like, a miniature dictionary, and then what an index might look like, your subjects or topics, and then the page numbers that they can be found on. Like I said, this week our genre is really going to be nonfiction, specifically science-related texts. So your student might be getting out a real science book in the classroom and practicing locating information in the textbook using these text features. So they're going to be reading about hot air balloons. They're going to be reading about bullet trains. And then for their test on Friday, they'll specifically be working with kids on the high seas. So if you're trying to get your child prepared for this week's assessment, you can take them to the library or search your house for books that are nonfiction, but they need to include an index, a glossary, and a table of contents. So ask your child to locate information in the book using the index or the table of contents. Have your child find specific keywords that are inside of the text, and then use the glossary at the back to tell you a meaning or a definition for the way that word is used in that book. So just practice using those text features. And then in language, we're going to be working with pronouns. So we're switching to language. Pronouns are just words that take the place of nouns. Pronouns can be either singular, like I, you, he, she, it, things like that, or they can be plural, like we, they, ours, things like that. So we're going to be having the kids find pronouns and identify if they're singular or plural. Have a great week. If you have questions, let your teacher know. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.